In case you've been living under a rock, Gold Rush is a reality series centered around family-owned companies that mine for gold placers' deposits in the Klondike region around Dawson City, Yukon, Canada, and in Alaska. The series is considered one of the most successful, if not the most successful series created and produced by Discovery Channel, and numerous spin-offs can attest to that fact. It premiered in 2012 and has run for 13 seasons with no signs of slowing down. As with any other Discovery series, it features numerous cast members, including the cigar-chomping series veteran Chris Doumitt, who has had his share of family tragedy and troubles. Keep listening to learn more. Chris Doumitt is a former carpenter, a gold miner, and a reality TV star, who gained popularity for his role in Gold Rush. He was born in Portland, Oregon, and is believed to be of part Arab descent. Chris was raised on a farm and often helped his father with various tasks, including managing machinery, which would later serve him well. He attributes his hard work ethic and mindset to growing up on a farm, as he explained it well, disclosing, "Being a farm boy, you don't have working hours. You do the job for as long as it takes, until it's done." Not much is known about his education and family. Back in the day, he taught firearm safety for Sandy Police Department and is an excellent marksman, highly revered for his skills among his crew members, which he displayed on several occasions in Gold Rush. Talking of his romantic life, the 62-year-old miner has been married to Sharon for more than 35 years, and the couple share 2 children. When he's not mining gold, he likes to spend his time in the warmer climates of Palm Springs, California. Besides avidly smoking, he enjoys fishing and playing golf. The story of how he ended up in the mining business is quite attention-grabbing. As a matter of fact, Chris was a plant carpenter for 25 years before stepping into this unfamiliar territory, geographically and job-wise. He officially tested the waters in 2010, as he often said, "It happened accidentally." According to the Discovery site, Chris joined the show during the first season, after he was hired by Todd Hoffman to build a cabin, a project that was supposed to last 10 days, as seen in the show's debut season. However, as you might have guessed, he overstayed his welcome and actually spent 5 months with the Hoffmans, learning about mining. Ultimately impressed by his talents, Todd asked him to join his crew, but as with any beginner, he was unsuccessful initially and learned the craft through trial and error. Chris is a very hands-on guy and so physically capable, who took every opportunity to learn as much as possible. If you watched the show, you know that he was part of the crew that had the rough and tumble learning experience in the first 2 seasons. Luckily, the crew reeled in over 803 ounces of gold in the 3rd season. However, when the 4th season premiered, it was revealed that Chris had surprisingly changed teams, joining Parker Schnabel's operation. Why? The issue was never discussed, and he never made a statement about it, although it's pretty easy to make assumptions. Chris knew that Klondike was the right place to search for gold, and in the 4th season, the Hoffmans headed to Guyana to search for gold, documented in the series Gold Rush Jungle. Hoffman and his crew members initially traveled to Guyana between the 2nd and 3rd seasons to determine the feasibility of starting a mining operation during Klondike off-seasons. Although they stumbled upon gold on the remote site, it was in such low quantities that it was determined to be unprofitable and so, financially unsustainable, given the enormous costs of mining in an inaccessible location. Even though the 3rd season of the spin-off series left the fans on a cliffhanger, ending with doubt about whether the Hoffmans would launch another operation, they did return to Guyana in the 4th season. The theory is that Chris knew that South America wasn't a good, profitable idea, and instead joined the Schnabel family, who mined in the known-for-gold area in the Klondike. In addition, watching Todd and his operations for years has convinced many fans that he's not the best boss. In the 5th season, several of his crew members chose to leave his operation due to what they saw as a series of his poor decisions. The time would later show that this was an excellent idea for Chris, as he became an essential member of Parker's crew. Furthermore, many fans believe that Chris is Parker's secret weapon, and several moments on the show go to support this. The years 2016 and 17 were more than challenging for Chris, who had his health issues, similar to many others who are in the mining business, as a result of years of repetitive movement. Back injuries are common among people in this industry, as they're physically active but also operate machinery which has you sitting in the same position for hours. Ultimately, his back pain was so severe that at one point he couldn't even move. To make things worse, his wife was diagnosed with cancer in the same period, which took a heavy toll on Chris, understandably. Reportedly, she was experiencing pain in her knee, but thought that she'd injured it somehow, and pain was the result of that injury. However, the pain didn't go away, so she saw a doctor and was shortly afterwards diagnosed with bone cancer. She immediately began treatment, which proved vital for her recovery. Similar to many other forms of cancer, diagnosing bone cancer in its early stages is crucial, and this most probably saved his wife's life. After numerous treatments and chemotherapy, her doctors notified her that her cancer was in remission. Now, to return to Chris's back injury, he underwent successful surgery and has been pain-free ever since. Chris is still a cast member in Gold Rush. Most recently, he appeared in the spin-off series Gold Rush Parker Trails, which aired in June 2022. Although it's not confirmed, it's believed that the show will air its 13th season, which we expect will feature the cigar-obsessed Chris. Even though he's been in the mining business for nearly 12 years now, doing the job and filming the series, Chris found something to diversify his working experience. What would you expect him to create or launch as someone who walks around with a cigar? Well, you guessed it. In 2017, Chris and his longtime friend Harry DeWolf co-founded a cigar company entitled Doumitt Gold Cigar, which sells smoking accessories and golf equipment. However, cigars are not his only passion. He's very passionate about wine and is considered a wine connoisseur. He makes his own wine, Hooch, as he named it, and has even brought it for testing to his Gold Rush crew. Thanks to his presence on Gold Rush, he's amassed a decent following on Instagram, currently boasting over 50,000 followers. Unfortunately, he's not the most active user and updates his fans only every couple of months. Similar to any other reality show, Gold Rush has been criticized for allegedly scripted content and too much editing. Although some fans seem to have made up their mind about the series and declared it fake, Chris was asked by a fan, "Is any part of the show scripted?" And this is what he replied.
Is any part of it scripted? I know it dramatized. It's not scripted. Every dumb thing you see us do, every dumb thing you hear us say, we thought that up on our own. We might be directed into questions. They'll keep asking a question until they get an answer they want. But no, we make it all up, you guys. I'm sorry.
Many rushed to point out that disclosing such information was not in his interest, which could have gotten him into trouble for breaking the reality bubble. However, Chris is not the only cast member who's spoken about the show. In 2016, Jimmy Dorsey left the show following an altercation with another cast member. Although contradictory, some parts of Jimmy's statement coincide with Chris's. It's scripted from the beginning. They knew exactly what they wanted to see out of the program. Even my leaving was scripted, but the way in which it happened was not. They actually direct you to get into these situations. It became very real. That's why I got my ribs broken. I was assaulted by Greg. He also said that although Greg broke his ribs, the fight was in the script for episode 4, ending in episode 6, from where he exited the show. According to his lengthy interview, he shared that even though they didn't tell him what to say precisely, they pushed him to get the answers they wanted. In the last episode, they allegedly led him to say that if he didn't find gold in 70 hours, he would be leaving the show and the operation, disclosing, "They pushed you towards saying I was going to leave if we didn't find gold. It was never my intention to leave. My plan was to stay the entire summer and see it out. I didn't think we had a good show unless we got gold. I wasn't making much money from the show." Although music and mining do not seem to go hand in hand, Todd Hoffman has been pursuing a music career for years and has achieved moderate success. If you remember the 8th season of the show, you know that Todd and his crew weren't successful. Why? Well, Todd, the man of many trades, wanted to focus more on his singing career and YouTube channel. Even though he launched the channel in 2012, he only posted his first video in 2014, making covers of various songs by metal and rock bands. His most famous and watched video is the cover of Sounds of Silence, which currently boasts 15 million views.
I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping.
Although the original performers, Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel, did a great job, watching Todd cover it just hits differently, knowing that he had spent years of his life in the dirt digging for gold. In an interview, he was asked about his plans and singing career and said, "Who knows? stranger things have happened. I want to break it big. I want to hit it out of the park. His last cover song of Angel of Mercy by Black Label Society was posted in May 2022.
Long today, for all the birds have flown.
Regardless of his singing career, he still has the itch for gold, which won't go away anytime soon. On the contrary, Todd got his own spin-off series, Hoffman Family Gold, which premiered in February 2022. When you watch a show centered on highly precious, coveted, and expensive metals, it's natural that you ask about the crew's earnings and the financial sustainability of such a career. Furthermore, it's well known that launching minor mining operations calls for massive capital injection before even getting into the digging, which is unstable, and no one can guarantee significant findings. Given that this is such a frequent question, Parker went on Reddit to satisfy people's curiosity about the crew's paychecks. The young miner disclosed that he pays his team between $28 and $34 per hour, and they usually do 75 hours a week. Mining is a seasonal business, so the team works non-stop during the season and then goes on a well-deserved break. With overtime, the crew's income is about $2,600 per week. Parker explained, "We usually work about 25 weeks, so gross earnings would be around $65K pre-bonus for a starting employee, which I think works out to around $40K net, which is what I probably meant by saying $40K to drive a rock truck for the season, so the median wage is probably more in the $34 an hour range. On top of that, he also has bonuses for his workers. Although he didn't reveal how much precisely this bonus was, he described it as significant. Many fans disclosed that the pay was slightly higher than expected, and one could make a decent living with it. However, not everyone is meant for gold digging, as it requires physical readiness and stamina to put in the long hours. If anyone knows how it feels going through living hell, that is Chris Doumitt, as his own health issues weren't enough. He also had to watch the love of his life go through a painful journey, which had a happy ending. Luckily, Chris is a tough nut to crack, and a survivor who always comes out on top.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.